Welcome to Nordstrom TV Global Trends, and today's topic is talking about tariffs, the imposed tariffs from the US to Canada and Mexico. And what I'm thinking we're going to be talking about is really about why the tariffs are necessary. Unfortunately, let me go first to a little presentation about this part. Okay, we're going to be talking about the Canada-Mexico U.S. imposed tariffs, and we need to talk about why they are there. What is the background, and also we're talking about the economic situations on the trade balance between our countries, and so we need to talk about the cost of the products in the U.S. internally and the cost of the products of the U.S. outside U.S. And oh my, the picture is not real good. Actually, it's bad. Just imagine we have a rich neighbor, and this neighbor give us jobs. Some we go and cut the lawn, we make products for the neighbor, and then the neighbor, our neighbor in front of our house, he's having economic difficulties, and he said we can't hire you anymore. We need to use our kids to do all along. We need to start building our own things here because we just run out of money. And if you want to sell something, we need to ask our kids to give us extra money so we can start building them inside our house. And that's one of the things that is the situation is not really good for the U.S. at this moment. It will become better. And unfortunately, for U.S. and Canada, for Mexico and Canada, the situation is disruptive, because we're thinking about we have a good market up north, we have a good market south of Canada, and we can sell our products there. But we can see, the trade balance really is not helping the U.S. The trade balance is way off. And making something in Mexico is super affordable. It's super affordable, and the things, the resources that Canada has are rich. It's a rich country with a lot of resources. And our neighbor, the U.S., he has trillions in debt. He has trillions and trillions in debt. And the things that is happening is that they have to pay interest on the debt. So if China has, I don't know how many, maybe $500 billion, $800 billion in debt, the U.S. needs to pay interest to China for those public debt. And so the dollar is weakening. The dollar is weakening in relevance, but it needs to be weakened in other areas. It needs to be weakened in the exchange rate, not in the economic influence, and that's what some of the things are on the line. Okay, why cost of doing business in Mexico is low compared to the U.S.? And basically, the cost of doing business in Mexico is low. The labor is really affordable. People they live in houses, small houses. They don't need air conditioning. Some of them don't need a heater in winter because the climate in Mexico is really nice most of the year. So there's a lot of savings there. There's a lot of savings. Also, in Mexico is different than Canada. In Canada, there are some months of the year that everything almost goes to a standstill. because of the winter. The winter is like a couple of months, 3 months, but it put everything almost standstill. It slows down. It really slows down. Then the summer comes, everything opens, and there's a lot of movement. But meanwhile, in winter, the things are frozen. And the situation in Canada, of course, we are not doing really well. The cost of a house, even a small condo in Toronto, can go for 500,000 Canadian dollars, 800,000 Canadian dollars. It's outrageous. It's who really can buy a house in a big city? Who can buy a nice house in a big city? Even a house, it's unbelievable. So how can we compete with other countries? How can we compete with other countries? And the situation in Canada, the public housing programs all the houses are owned by the government. They just rent the house for the people who is in need. But in Mexico it's different. Mexico, the cost of houses are really affordable, and they have the Infonavit. The Infonavit is a government program where the workers buy the house. The government give incentives so that people can buy and own the house, not just rent the house. And that's a lot of difference. So the situation is different. Okay, the cost of doing business in the U.S. is outrageous. I think with the new administration, hopefully the taxes for corporations are going to be better. But here in Canada, the taxes for the corporations are incredibly high. I think it's 51% on profits. If the profits are a decent amount of profits, if you don't want to have profits, then you pay less percent of the. On interest in Mexico, I think it's 35% the max on taxes on profits. In the U.S., they're trying to bring the corporate taxes down, but the corporate taxes in Canada are huge, are unbelievable huge compared to other countries. So the cost of doing business in the U.S. is high. The cost of a house in the U.S. is almost the same in Canada, maybe not as bad. And cost of equipment compared to other markets is expensive. Okay? If you buy a machine made in China, and compared to a machine made in the U.S., the machine built in the U.S. is more expensive anywhere in the world. How can the U.S. compete with that? And they have to import a lot of pieces from different countries, and so that's the competitive part of the U.S. Okay, how competitive are the U.S. products outside the U.S.? Okay. When you want to make a program, you want to hire some offshore computer system analysts. The analysts from the U.S. are expensive. So you hire someone from India, you hire someone from Indonesia, you hire someone from Ukraine, so from other countries, and so the services are expensive. And one of the things that also are coming. Is about how the financial system is start to be challenged. Like you have Visa, MasterCard challenges. In China, less and less are accepting Visa, MasterCard. They use a Panda card. They are not accepting. Why? Because Panda card is trade in Eurasia, so they cannot sanction that. But people less and less are accepting Visa, MasterCard, and it's going to cascade. It's going to be another payment systems based on BRICS, and that's challenging the financial strength of the U.S. dollar, not the economical strength. The financial strength, influence. And so, what are the options for the U.S. to reduce the public debt? How can they compete? So they have first to improve local manufacturing. They need to start manufacturing more locally. So what they do? They have to create tariffs. They have to start building things inside first. The U.S. needs help from Canada and Mexico to be able to allow them to build inside so they can sell outside. Okay? And then after they have enough manufacturing power within, they can lower the currency. They can devalue the currency to make it more competitive. But now they will be able to sell the equipment outside, because now we'll be able to compete with machines making in Mexico, in China, in other countries, in Brazil, etc. Okay, the objective is the USA needs to avoid bankruptcy. Okay, first, the tariffs, stop the bleed on trade balance, make the incentives to implement local manufacturing, and really not really create jobs. What they need to do is start building things inside to make a manufacturing base. They need to make incentives for local commerce to slash business taxes, and next they will be able to compete in price and quality international markets. So they can sell made in the USA. Once again, when was the last time we saw made in USA? We see made in China, but no made in USA. Okay, the challenges. I'm just going to wrap up really quick. The challenges in Mexico is really nice. They have warm, multi-crops agricultural fields. The power needs are low. They don't need AC. They need furnace, like here in Canada. Mexico's cost of food and service are low, of course. And the social programs in Mexico are really, really good. They help, the society to grow. For Canada, we have incredible resources and we have incredible partners. We have a great manufacturing in Canada. We also need to grow local. We need to start doing things locally. And start having new partners. Mexico can, sell to other partners like Russia, like China. Canada has different partners. We can sell to Europe. We can sell to other countries. We cannot sell to Russia because of the sanctions, because that may come to an end. And the cost of food and service in Canada is high. So we have a long way to go. Yes, to wrap up, the tariff is only one piece of the chessboard. U.S. in the brink of bankruptcy needs to put this so they can avoid it. And they need to avoid bankruptcy. They need to start getting, the trade, the trade balance a little bit more with more equality, and build, more manufacturing in the U.S. With that, I'm going to get the timer. So it's time to wrap this up. Thank you so much for tuning in to Noxtron TV Global Trends, and I see you in the next episode.